Hello and welcome to another Mapart tutorial. Today I'm going to be covering how to build your platform, everything you might need for making Mapart, and some other tips for getting ready to build your first Mapart. The first thing you're going to need obviously is a big platform to do it on. Now the way that you build your platform is you need to find where you want to place it first. So the biome can be important. Obviously, mushroom islands are the best place to do map art because you don't have to worry about lighting because mobs don't spawn. It makes it a lot easier for staircase map arts, so you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. If you're going to build it in a different biome, you need to light it up using, I recommend using end rods because they don't show up on maps, but you can place them above and it'll light up for you. If you don't have access to a mushroom island, I recommend building over an ocean. Oceans are usually uninhabited, very large and flat, so the best place to put one if you can't have a mushroom island. You can also make transparent map art in the end. I'm not sure if every server supports transparent maps, but this one does on altitude. So let me show you my end platform. So this is just big, it just uses glass instead of wool. So it goes, you can obviously see through it. I've also got a layer underneath as like, just in case I accidentally break through and fall down, I'm not going to go into the void and die. Yeah, if you want to stick to a normal platform, the best way to find where you need to put it is to simply grab an empty map, open it, and see where the corners are. So if I open an empty map here, you can see it's entirely the white space. And then you can find the corners by activating chunk borders, which is F3 and G. And as you can see, it lines up in the corners, which is, so then you can just place your edges along here and you can use your map to see where the edges need to be. Now for the material, we always use wool because compared to the other materials that you will use to make your map art, wool is hard to break with normal tools. So most of the materials used for map art are easier to break with haste 2. Most of them are instant break. So you can break those really quickly, but then you won't be able to break your platform as easily. So you're not going to be digging up your platform while you break down old map arts. For the entire space, you'll need about 10 shulkers of wool or whatever material you decide to build it out of. But again, I recommend wool. It makes the most sense. After you've built your platform, you will need a noob line. This line here prevents some shading. If you can see on this map, if you look very carefully, you can see the very top is grey. That is due to how the gradients work with stepping up and down blocks. So when you place your map art, it's going to be in line with the noob line, so there's no gradient happening. Now that is all the basics you need to build your map art, but there are a few things I recommend, including building one of these, which is a auto sorter and storage. Now this storage that I have holds 5 barrels per thing, which on altitude has a double chest worth instead of a singles chest worth. So if you on a server that doesn't have double chest barrels, you can replace these with double chests facing long ways. Because the most you'll ever need is 10 shulkers, because that is the entire size of the platform. But behind here I have a auto sorter, so if I run down to the end here. As you can see, I've got an auto sorter setup going. Now the way this works is that you just have an input at the end there, and then it goes along here and drops into the right material. So if it goes along here and there is that item, it will go in and drop it into the right place. I'm not great with redstone, so that is the best explanation you're going to get, but it should still be relatively easy to recreate from just seeing what I've done here. Now these filter sticks are very important. You can use whatever block you want, but it has to be renamed so that if you have a block that comes in that is the same as this, it's not going to break the filter because it's renamed to something else. And up here is the input. So then when I'm breaking down my map art, I can just dump all the items in here and then it automatically goes into the right colour. Yeah, I think that's the auto sorter explained. Poorly, I'm sure. In case you're wondering about this water elevator, it doesn't spill everywhere because I've used a 1x1 subclaim over it. So water can't pour out of subclaims or claims in general. So to start with, I recommend not trying to get 10 shulkers of everything. There's a good chance you will never use 10 shulkers of an item, unless you're just trying to make a single colour, which is still a bit silly. So I recommend getting about a shulker of everything you need, especially for the colours. 2 shulkers would be better, but for now 1 shulker is enough, and then you just build up your supplies as you need them. So at the moment I haven't got that much in, but then other things where I have needed stuff, I've got an extra. With some of these helper blocks, you probably won't ever need to use many of them. Like this is all I've used of these 2 so far, but I have a lot of those anyway. So as you start building different map arts, you're going to need different supplies for different ones. So it's just easier and less expensive just to build up your supplies as you go, just getting what you need for that particular map art, and then before you know it, you've got enough for any map art you need at all. The other thing I have on my platform are these soul sand highways. I have soul speed on mine, so it's just a quicker way of getting around. Although one thing I've noticed with this, sometimes I accidentally break this soul sand, so I need to put in a buffer of a couple of blocks so that I don't accidentally break these. I just haven't got around to it yet. And then when you want to put your map art down, I recommend having a stick nearby. And then let me just turn rendering back on. And then when you've got your map art out, you can just place it down there, and then it's in the same place every time. But make sure, if you notice in the bottom left hand corner, schematic is the mode is on schematic placement and not any of these other ones when you do that. And then you can put your stick away and build your map art. Now you can, in case you didn't notice, I can toggle the rendering on and off. You use M+R to do that. I recommend toggling your rendering off when you're not using a schematic, because of if you have a stick, then you can accidentally move your schematics, which isn't ideal. But I think that about covers it. It hasn't been my most coherent tutorial, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below, and thank you for watching. Bye.